it didn't matter where I came from. It mattered not from where I came. And I want to share a few thoughts, if I may, in your wonderful presence. It's always interesting in life how things come full circle, and there are things that happen in your life and you don't really know why they happen. But at some point later in life, it makes sense why certain things happen. But you couldn't account for them. It might be years before you fully understand why things happened the way they did. And people that will touch your lives, that will change the course. Replay that moment in your life. That if I had not done that, all the things that you would have missed. If you didn't go talk to that one person or go to that particular event. It mattered not where I came from. I remember, Rico, you came up to me and said, hey, there's this ranch. That was the introduction. I think we were getting drinks at a university event. Would you mind coming out and maybe sharing a few thoughts? It mattered not from where I came. You brought me in like a brother, as if I had been with you throughout your lives. And your stories here are just incredible. I'm like a sponge just listening, and although I wasn't there, I have memories of your experiences by what you share every night and when we are together. There are certain people and things that enter your life and they symbolize what you will eventually become and how you will feel about certain things. On 9/11, our lives were changed forever. For me, it would result in 3 years of combat in Iraq. But there's a vivid image of that U.S. flag and those FDNY, you know the image I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're honoring our flag in the midst of the rubble. And George, I share with you that you are that flag. If you remember the story, I remember standing in formation at West Point every time, and I'm looking, and I could just hear the flag, the chains of the flagpole. But you didn't dare gaze around. What are you looking at? Nothing. But you could hear it rattling in the distance, and you'd hear the distant bugler. Reveille in the morning, and you're standing there going, what in the world have I got myself into? But you could hear the flag rustling around. You never knew what it looked like from where we were standing, and then that distant bugler is such a beautiful sound. But that flag represents a direction. George, you are that flag for us. Whenever in doubt, we just look up to the flagpole and you give us direction on what to look for and where to go. And it brings you comfort. Those wonderful colors there, the red, white, and blue, bring us comfort. The way we honor it is just a wonderful tradition. But it mattered not where I came from to be here with you. It mattered not where I came and to be here with you and what this country would allow us to become. It never judged me where I came from as to how far I could get. Never judged. Charlie represents that for me as well. Sir, if I may talk about Charlie in his absence. My name is David Joseph Yegra. The David Joseph comes from a Vietnam veteran. And I went to Washington, D.C. to the wall to see his name on the wall. To see his name on the wall. And now that our World War II generation, they're harder to find. And we say, well, who's our greatest generation? For me, the influence has been our Vietnam veterans. Who would have known that David Joseph, and that I was named after a fallen Vietnam hero? There was no inclination, there was no drive for me to become part of the military. It was a high school counselor that exposed me to the opportunity to go to West Point, but the military was not in the cards. Truth be told, I went to West Point to play soccer. But after 24 years of service, I've come to love these colors and what it represents. But gentlemen like Charlie represent a quiet force. They don't talk a lot, do they? They don't share a whole lot. But they're the reason why we have the benefits that we have now, because we didn't do it very well back then. We didn't treat them well. I have been in that airport when they stand and clap. God, it warmed my heart, but I can't imagine what they encountered coming home. I don't even want to think about it. It hurts my heart. But it's because of our Vietnam veterans that we have the benefits that we have now. Charlie, you can't see it, but we had this flag flown over West Point in your honor on September 11th.
Wow.
In your honor. And it didn't matter from where I came from. You brought me in like a brother. And to be here with you just warms my heart. But someone's not here today, and I wish he were here so I could share this with him. But it'll get to him sooner or later, I'm sure. Maybe a few dings and dents, but that's okay too. But we flew this flag. It's a Marine Corps symbol and the U.S. flag flown over the United States Military Academy at West Point on September 11th of last year. And what I'd ask you to do, brothers, if you wouldn't mind, there's some few Sharpies, if you wouldn't mind signing the back on that white space there. No love letters because it won't fit. But it would be, I think, a nice touch. But Charlie, you represent to me, and I didn't understand it. Brother, I didn't understand, but now it's full circle. That now he's my connection to the history of combat and our fighting force and to our Vietnam veterans. Welcome home, sir. Welcome home. Thank you, guys.